Hi and welcome to my HTML programming with a phone. Now, a lot of you might be wondering, you mostly need a laptop to do HTML codes, practice out. You're actually right, but a phone can also be used in this case. The only reason why a phone cannot be used is because phones have a limited amount of gigabytes and RAM. Phones gigabytes and RAM mainly stands from the gigabyte of an average phone is mostly beginning from let's just say 8 gigabytes or lower, 4 gigabytes lower. But a laptop gigabyte may have ranges from, let's say, a hundreds and hundreds of loads of gigabytes. So mainly what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you HTML codes which are being done on a phone, practically being done on a phone. And I'm going to explain to you these codes and how you can use them. As you can see, I'm not using the average keyboard because the average keyboard would take you hours, and there are some codes, there are some coding body embodying block sorry type codes, actually, sorry, type symbols that you will need that are not inside the normal Gboard. So I'm actually using what's over here on Hacker's keyboard. So now let's get started. So now, as you can see, it has everything a basic HTML editor will normally have. It has an edit, a find, which is also known as a search. So you can see, read more is used to output the code. File, you can store, you can save as, you can, so that your work can be stored. Now let's continue. H1 tag. Now, what an H1 tag does mainly is to make things bigger than the average size, like bigger than the normal capital size. So now I'm going to be messing around with the H1 element, the bold element, and let's just see if there is still more of this time and speed. I'll be able to try out some other tags. But for now, let's try these 4 main tags. First of all, when starting on HTML, you create something called a doc type. Now, what this doc type mainly does is to state the name of the document, which is HTML. So you write doc type. Now, another rule is that everything inside this doc type, everything except for doc type, must be in capital letter. So then you write HTML to specify to it the document type is HTML. So now I'm going to come here and write my HTML. I'm calling my HTML. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to write HTML. Now there are different things you can put inside this, but for now I need to input the title first. Title. So we're just going to give it any random name of screen. Screen HTML. Now there are mainly two types of tags which we have are opening tag and closing tag. Now the one that the, the one that actually there's no difference between the two of them, but the only thing that differentiates the two of them is this forward slash. As you can see here, the forward slash. That's the forward slash. So now we have to open. Oh, sorry, I forgot to open my head tag actually. So I have to go into it. Head tag. Normally, all this and mainly that necessary, but as I was taught, it stated that if you want to make your tag more efficient to be read and neat, you have to make it look like this. So when people check your source code or you want to debug it, they won't have much of errors there. So now I'm gonna have to open the body. The body is where everything that is being a body tag, everything that is being inputted into it is gonna show. But the head tag, just note it, everything that's being inputted into it is gonna work as a background. Let's just say like a village now. The workers are mainly the villagers, but the people who actually eat the food. Okay, let me just pick another random explanation for. So now we see there's a three party chain. So now we have an N, a food poured on the floor, and the human. Now, what the human is identifying now is the human is kind of like the one that is picking up the dirt. So now the chicken doesn't know we are the one picking up the dirt for him. So now the chicken serves as the head. Everything it does. Now what is not inside it is the food poured on the floor. Once the chicken has ate its fair share, the human will be the one to pick it up. Once another food comes again and gets poured on the floor, we are not going to, let's just say, the chicken is not going to know that he left the food on the floor. So as is in this case as well, we are we can't see it. We won't know whether an head tag function is being added because head tag and head tag actually doesn't show everything inside an head tag doesn't actually show or output out. So next thing I'm going to show do now is create a body tag. Now a body tag is serving as the human, and our human is the cleanup in this case. So now the human cleaning up the chicken's mess, we're gonna create something like an H1 tag. Now you can try this at home, just for you to know it. As I was taught, as I am being taught, it stated that for you to understand a tag when watching a video, you have to practice it. Why? Because if not, you won't understand it. As I'm saying this from experience. Why? Because I've tried it once. I know you watching this video, maybe trying to learn to program or you're still learning. But let me just explain this to you. Most videos don't work, but I just want to kind of put your mind into it so that you be paid to. When you're practicing it, don't just watch it. Try and practice it in order for you not to forget or lose the information. Also for you to get it. So as I'm doing, I'm going to write heading. H1 stands for heading 1. So I'm going to write heading 1. So I'm going to come here to run my code. Read more stands for run your code actually. So you come here and you see that heading 1. So I'm going to come here as well. Yeah, the case I stated before once, that it doesn't affect it because HTML is not that case sensitive. It's not case sensitive to space because if I do it like this, okay, come H6 and I write head let's just say head or head, yeah. And I put in H6 to close it up. Come here and run it. It's not affected. But it's really advisable for you to put your tag in a neat format for it to be purely clean. So now I'm going to write the bold tag. Now bold in this case, when you say something is bold, I know you may be thinking of it. What's bold? Don't let it scramble your head. It's not just another English. It's just natural English. So now bold just means something should be bold, clearer for your observer to see or viewer. So now as I'm going to do this, I'm going to write bold face. Okay, let me just write bold. Yeah, bold. Sorry. And I click to read more. And you see, it's not that as, how do I put this? It's just as bold, but it's somehow darker. Let me zoom it in for you. It's somehow darker than the natural tag. If you look at the H1, it's just say 2% darker than the normal tag. So the next tag I'm going to fall on is, oh yeah, before I forget, the H1 goes like this. H1 is the smallest, H2 is, sorry, H6 is the smallest, the lowest, actually the smallest. H5 is like smaller. H4 is small. H3 big. H2 bigger. H1 biggest. That's how me I memorized it so that I won't forget and so that it will be ringing in my head. So in order for you not to forget, let's go about it again. H1 is the biggest. H2 is big, the bigger. H3 is big. H4 is small. H5 is smaller. H6 is smallest. Now the next one I'm going to go through. I'm already seeing this video may be becoming boring, so let's cut it out for now. I'm called Sammy and I am out. Peace. Next class tutorial, I'm going to be explaining HTML's font tags. So, as I said, there are basic font tags. So these font tags, you can mess around with them for a while before we get to continue. For now, I am code Sam and this is my tutorial. Bye. Hope you drop some likes and subscribes. See you soon on a laptop. Bye.